Welcome to Perceptions Today podcast, where we discuss consciousness in all forms. May 2023, episode 47, Gabe Miranda Sr, Roundtable discussion, The Strangeness Decoded, part 4 of 4. Gabe Miranda Sr experiences dreams, sleep paralysis, nightmares, and synchronicity. Participants knew it was being recorded.
How you can achieve that without the aid of any of these chemical agents, these drugs, whatever, mushrooms, because that is on the one hand I'm curious about mushrooms. On the other hand, I'm really I'm not terrified, but I am somewhat
Okay, there's a few ways you can do it.
I'm somewhat what's the right word?
You're hesitant,
yeah, because it's not like I parade around with a big sign that I've got a history of addiction to smoking copious amounts of marijuana, which took me years to get off on. So I went to all these MA meetings when they still existed. I don't know if they're still around, but that to me was really a struggle to once I was just a casual smoker and I enjoyed it and it was a thing, and I wasn't and then I start, because I often hear people here as well talk about self-medication, and that's always a tricky thing, because when is it still self-medication? What do you actually mean with that? And when
you've got these problems, right, Esteval, again, it depends on personality. Anything you do for 30 days that builds up a pattern, becomes an addiction. For example, you could be picking up a tennis ball and that becomes an addiction if you've been doing it every 30 days. Mm-hmm. You've got to break it. When you're saying how to experience things without actually taking drugs and getting your own body chemistry to do it, for example, the whirling dervishes that do the spinning and looking up at the same time?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Anyway.
No, but that's one way of doing it. There's meditation as well.
No, again, yeah, I've done in the past. I've done a lot of yoga, and I always finish where I
one is the Lucia Light,
and then you finished it doing meditation exercises. You can also get hooked on sports, which I've also been hooked on that, like going to the dojo, kickboxing gym, other gyms 6 times a week, constantly training to the point that you're completely ruining yourself because you're doing that much training, and fighting and sparring and what have you. It's just always going for the edge, and that's why I'm really hesitant about these things. But I am curious about sort of.
Let me tell you
reaching a. Because there must be more to this.
Take a breath, Esteval. Let me finish for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So there is a thing called the Lucia Light, Lucia, yeah? And then it's number 3. And the Lucia Light, as I explained, produces a frequency of light that goes through your skull, stimulates your pituitary gland, and gives you the same kind of experience as if you were doing mushrooms, etc., with the psychedelic imagery like stained glasses that you see in mosques and other places. And that's your own body chemistry doing it, and you can't get addicted to that.
What's that called?
It's Lucia Light, Lucia, number 3, light. Now I can give you some links to that and you can pick it up, and it's got YouTube videos as well. And basically people feel very relaxed afterwards. They've used it in counseling. So, for example, if you've got people in prison who won't actually open up to a therapist, they've found that normally it takes 30 hours of consultation with a therapist before somebody starts opening up within these kind of scenarios, or whether they got PTSD. But when they started introducing hour sessions of the Lucia Light, they found within 3 hours sessions, not all at the same time, but a period of 3 hours, that these people would then start opening up and start talking, and therapy could actually advance, because the way that it relaxes the body gives you an emotional outpouring, whether it be joy, or you might end up crying a lot the next day, but you get kind of clearer focus, and people use it as a de-stressor along with a way to focus for a couple of days. So, for example, you're listening to me now, but you might be thinking at something else at the same time. But once you go through the experience, you come out and possibly for 24 hours, you're kind of laser focused on one thing at a time. So I can send you links to that if you want.
Yeah.
And that means you don't get addicted to anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've heard people say, yeah, mushrooms aren't addictive. But, it's still...
The compound's not addictive. It's the personality and how much you use it and the social people that you're hanging around. That's the kind of where it comes from.
Yeah.
So Ian DW might have some information for you. We've had him hanging around there. And then we got 33 and Angel that are coming back to you, I think, on the same answer. Ian?
Hey, yeah, how you guys doing? Yeah, pretty much what you were saying there. It isn't a good thing to go out and just take these drugs lightly and think that by doing that, somehow you're going to have this massive life-changing experience. You have to know in yourself what it is that you're trying to change. You also have to do a lot of other work first before you get to that point where, like trying ketamine and things like that. Like I'm coming from this from someone that has done it the wrong way and that has just literally just jumped in there head first, right? Because I wanted to have the experiences. And luckily for me, I survived that mentally and physically. But absolutely, like Esteval is 100% right. You should not be playing around with these things. And you can't really put your faith in. So like these things open little gateways for you, so you can go through the door and have a look, see, and see better things, right? But after that experience is over, you need to try and cultivate that experience yourself every day. But you can't really rely on the drugs. Although I would say that a lot of people are promoting the use of like microdosing and things like that with like psilocybin and stuff like that, which I don't really know that much about it, and I if it works for them, it works for them. But I would argue that the ultimate goal of all of this experimentation is to try and find your own path that you can handle yourself, right? And putting faith into drugs and things like that to do that for you, it's not really where it's at. They're like a guide, but they're absolutely not a doctrine.
It's only a tool.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like having a toolbox of different spanners. Some people are naturally gifted that can actually do it on their own, but some people need an extra little spanner to tighten things up to get yourself through it.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. Like you need to or maybe like a manual, like maybe this gives you an extra bit of information that you didn't have. But absolutely, it isn't, the path that you take. Is that there is literally no one-hit pill that will get you through this life. You have to do that yourself. But things like this, for certain people, like they're amazing. Like I'll tell you what, man, I had some ridiculously crazy experiences on ketamine, but I'm certainly not going to go and buy like a gram of ketamine tonight and have another experience like that. Like it taught me lessons, dude, but it's not something that you can go back again and keep going. Yeah, you have to moderate everything and just have a bit of self-control. And
I bet you would say it's the same thing. Like there's the old proverb of one guy leaving a town want to go and live in another one because he's so fed up with the first town that he's in. Going halfway down the road, he bumps into a wise man who's sitting on the middle of the road, and the guy goes, "Where are you going?" And he goes, "I'm going to that town." And the guy who's moving from town A to town B goes, "I'm going there for a better life because town A is terrible." And the wise man goes, "Well, it's just going to be the same in town B." And the whole point is the fact that if you go along with a mindset, you can't just change it. You got to change your mind first, because otherwise you're just repeating the same process in the next town.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of putting it, brother. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Yeah, it's you that has to change. Like you have to change your mindset, and then all the things will fall into place. You can't just, want it to change because you're going down a path other people are going down. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, good stuff there, man.
And it takes time. It's not an instant fix either if you have got issues.
It sure isn't. No, I mean, I'm into like the learning how to meditate properly. I'm reading a lot of books to give me like spiritual guidance and stuff like that. I'm just really going back to basics, and you know, I know it sounds silly and everything, but I'm just going to look at everything from the perspective that maybe getting trashed gave me, and those little,
Oh, yeah, you can
luminary
help people
experiences.
now because you've been there. You know exactly the reasons why. And it's like with most people's experiences within this universe, and again, 33 and a few others who are still in the room will say, you go through it so you can help others. You may have gone through so much of a rough time that that's the problem that you think that why me? But at the end of the day, you can help others who haven't gone down that path so far yet and actually help them and give them the understanding. And you got the
Oh
tool
yeah,
sets.
yeah, you're absolutely correct there. I don't know if I want to say that I'd like to give people advice. Like I would give them like my opinions
Oh,
and
yeah, you
like,
can only
you know,
give your
things from my
experience.
journey. Right, right. But I can't. Oh, dude, after all the things that I've done, I have no more of a clue about it all than you do. Do you know what I mean? Like all I can do is tell you about my journey, but I couldn't tell you that there's a good way and a bad way to do it. But what I definitely stand by is, and like I said at the start, like drugs will give you insights and they will help you, you know, move forward on that path. But absolutely do not see them as anything more than that. And if you're ready to like go down that journey and, you know, progress yourself, and like, you know, like we're all here in this room, right, having a listen to everyone talking about their experiences and dreams and stuff. Like, this is a really good thing. This is what helps you grow. But just just expecting to like go to sleep tonight, lucid dream and solve all your problems is as silly as expecting me to like hit another bong in a minute and have that hit of weed solve all my fucking, you know, like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear then. All
You got
my
two more strikes, otherwise I'll beat you out. You know what it's like.
sorry, man.
No, it's okay.
But do you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
because
like
what
you
you've
have to
got
be.
to explain to people is that it's like going down the gym. If you want to build up muscle, you first need to go eat something that's got protein to give you the ability to rip and do your muscle. Then you need to go down the gym, and then you need to keep repeating the process to build your muscle. It's a
Ah, yeah,
long-term progress thing.
amazing way of putting it, brother. Yep, yeah, that's exactly right. Like you have to start from basics and just build yourself up to it. But I think maybe people get a bit, you know, like if I was just walking into this room and were listening to what you guys were saying, like I'd feel that maybe I was missing out on something, you know, like maybe I'd missed a big chunk of the jigsaw. Like why are these people able to talk about all of this, but I'm not? And so I can understand from a ground upwards perspective why people would want to get into it and do it, you know, the hard, the force it hard way. But it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like you really have to take your time on it, be very introspective, and just get it right. But it's very difficult to do that when everybody else seems to have it more right than you have it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Hang on. Yes, my mute button keeps on going on. I think one of the good people to bring in on this is 33 because he's got good experience.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to touch on a few things. And you know, I guess Esteval made a remark, and just to touch on a few things. First, I don't promote any kind of microdosing or drug use for anybody. This is my personal experience. I have over 5 decades of using and abusing drugs at some point, and that ended a long time ago. But I do want to say that everybody's body is different and everything affects your chemical makeup differently. So like when I was taking opiates, okay, I would get actually hyper, okay, and you know, and if I do coke, I would you know, mellow out, okay. So you know, it affected me differently, and
Yeah, me too. I used to have Coke mellows as well.
All right, so then you understand, I think I was telling this to Paul the other day, like if I had dual volume, okay, don't piss me off because, that unleashes something ugly in me, and so I stay away from that kind of chemical. So you have to understand that when you're messing around with any of these drugs, when we look at mushrooms and DMT, I don't really quantify them as drugs per se because they're God's gift to us. And I mean, the DMT comes from within us. And
yeah,
so,
I agree with you there. Yeah, I fully agree, bro. Yeah,
right.
yeah, no, I agree.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is that when I've used ketamine, and by the way, the big secret is that ketamine works for pain, okay, and there should be actually no opiate it's prescriptions for pain, okay. They should be prescribing ketamine. As a matter of fact, they're using it for trials on depression. So this gives you like and I'm not telling people to go out and do it, but I'm just saying it's been my personal experience. And so with that said,
I'll tell you what, brother, like I had experiences on ketamine. Not only did I get like full blown remote viewing, and like I literally had my third eye open, like to a point where like you could visually see this in my head. It was that crazy. But also, like any other time, like I just honestly, mate, like it was the best antidepressant ever. I used to have all my problems solved within about 5 minutes of going out for a party. But you know what the worst thing is? I'd try and write it down and I couldn't write. And in the morning I'd never forget. So like despite all of that effort and all of that win, I'd be absolutely nowhere. But honestly, bruv, I swear by that drug. But yeah, don't do it, kid.
Okay, we'll bring Angel in because she's been waiting with her hand up for a while, and then we'll get to Estevelle.
Oh, I didn't know my mic has been on for a minute. Anyway, I was going to say, when you brought up the light a while ago, Lucia light or whatever it's called, there's actually a lot of places, well, in the United States here, that has all types of things like that. I found somewhere close to me, very close. I haven't went and done it yet, but I'm really interested in it. They have a whole entire like setup so that you can do this whole light DMT thing. And they also have these things called float tanks.
Sensory deprivation ones, yeah.
Yeah, you can like mix them too or something.
They're all in salt and darkness.
Yeah, so you may not even have to like get your own, and that way like you would be there with somebody who knows exactly what's going on and that could be there, to like help you and everything. So you could like check into that to see if there's one nearby that you can use, because now here what I found, it's almost like you can even pay a membership and everything, and people go there all the time and use it like a gym. I think they have like an oxygen bar there too or something.
Joe Rogan's a big advocate for sensory deprivation tanks and floating. And Angel, I've just put in your direct messaging, the Lucia Light YouTube videos, etc.
Yeah, I've watched some of those. And you can even tell a difference after they get through a huge difference. Their whole personality are like a lot lighter and positive.
Oh, definitely.
And everything.
I've also put it into 4Ms as well, I think, and giving you that. Estevelle?
Yeah. This was not what I previously set as an attack on 33 rule. Just wanted to say that.
I don't think he took it as an attack. 33, did you take it as an attack?
No, not at all. I actually wanted to continue, but I didn't want to hog up more airtime because I guess DW got a little excited because I know he has the same experience I did. And, so he came off mic, and I know Angel was waiting, but there was more I wanted to say. No, I wanted to say, first of all, that I'm a martial artist, and that what I related to what you were saying was that I've always needed that thrill. And, plus I have some of my own childhood trauma that I've experienced, and even, life trauma, right? And I think we all have. It's just everybody's journey is different. But what I was trying to say is that it's almost like we're always replacing one addiction for another. And so that's kind of where I just wanted to touch on. And, I wouldn't see what I'm doing as an addiction. I suffer in pain. And, like I said, I'm headed towards 60. So, I'm just experimenting. And I wouldn't recommend what I'm doing for everybody else. But it'll come to light that mushrooms do help with depression, and I do stand by that. And but that's everybody else's journey. I just wanted to say that. That's all.
And the other thing, 33, is probably what you'll point out is you're not putting anybody else in danger with your actions at all. It's all insulated for yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely. And
yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah, you have to understand that I'm consuming 0.66 gram, okay, in a capsule, okay, which is very little, okay, and it actually I can't explain it. You just have to experience it, but it doesn't affect me at all. If anything, in a positive way. And with the crazy world we live in, I'll take a little boost from this wonderful mushrooms, the best room without a window.
Because also you're seeing some people are doing, dosages like 12 grams of mushrooms and other bits and pieces as well. So when obviously 33 is talking about low dosaging, he's really kind of in a very small quantity going in.
How do you measure that? I mean, because
some people have postal scales.
No. I mean, you've got just like, look, when you go in Amsterdam to a coffee shop and you buy some hashies or you buy some cannabis, it's strong. It's, it's not like your homegrown stuff.
It's not the 1970s, no, because people have been into wine getting stronger strains as they go on. I mean, there's really been a bad case here in the UK. I don't know if 4M ever heard of it. But when there was massive marijuana plantations being grown inside residential properties, the people were taking the buds, and to make them have greater weight when they were sold, they were dipping them, because obviously they're sticky, into glass beads, micro glass beads, and selling them with the extra weight on them. And what happened then, people who then ground them up and smoked them, they were going to hospitals and doctors couldn't work out why their lungs were full of micro holes. And it was the fact that when the glass spheres were being superheated into their lungs, they were just literally just going through their lungs like shotgun pellets going straight out and causing holes. So you got evil people who do that. And it's craziness.
No, I hadn't heard of that actually. No. Spice, yes. But,
spice is a strange one.
Not that. That sounds horrific.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they were just after profit, and that was it. They weren't looking at the medicinal side or anything, because they were just killing off their own clientele, to put it in a way.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that's going on here. But I mean, I stopped smoking all that stuff a long time ago, but I know it's not your sort of, homegrown garden type variety, the stuff you buy or you can buy. And so when I hear 33 rules say, I just weigh down 0.66 gram, I mean, that could contain a lot of the active compound he consumes.
It could be, because when you grow things, unless you give everything the same nutrients, you can't always evaluate. So one mushroom could be slightly higher content than another mushroom, for example, of the same batch of mushrooms that you've grown. So if you had a tray full, I mean, it's very difficult to get the same chemical compound unless you're doing repeat performance of growth hormones and things.
And what I'm also curious about, what is it actually that he experiences because of doing that on a daily basis? I mean,
he's got his hand up. He's going to probably answer you.
All right. Well, that's a great question. This is actually relatively new, because I'm just going back to my history. I did LSD when I was like, I don't know, 13. I did a couple of moons of acid, and I had a bad trip. And I stayed away from most of it. I lived in New York, so just kind of give you a premise. And I came out. I'm in Arizona, in the great state of Arizona, where it's magical on the 33rd parallel. And things have changed, and I've been out to the mountains, and so I just got introduced to mushrooms back again. I'd say a few years ago, and so I just started this year when I was able to find a way to get them and DMT, and I would strongly suggest that anybody who's going to do that know how to check your product to make sure that there isn't anything in there, and there's a way to do that. And if anybody need to understand that, they can contact me. I'm not going to get into that, but the point is know what you're putting in your body, and if you're gonna be an experiencer or an experimenter, and there is risk with everything that you do. And let me be clear about that. So what I experience is I had an ego death. The first thing I experienced when I did the mushrooms and the DMT, it actually the DMT. I saw geometric patterns, and I had piercing, loud sounds, and it was like you've arrived. You've finally seen everything you've been researching, and so that was my message. You've been right about everything, and I also was experiencing other things, like when my mom was on a respirator. I was able to speak to her through telepathy, and she was able to get off the machine because of our conversation within 6 hours. So those kind of weird and magical things, I would say, for me, they're magical. They're blessings. And so I just think that the mushrooms, for me, have enhanced my magical abilities, and I'm able to. I just say I can get into my children's subconscious while meditating and send them love. I'm able to manifest the most incredible feeling of love. Okay, and I'm not saying I can't do it without mushrooms. I'm just saying that I know what I'm getting, the quality, the product, and they come in a pill form, and so I have them all like as doses. I can also get them in chocolate. So there's other ways to consume them, but you just have to know what you're taking. So they actually enhance my abilities to, because like I said, I'm into magic and hermetics and self-healing, and I've healed myself. And one thing I'm working on now is healing my vision to see if I can reverse the bad vision that I have. And so I think with anything that if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish it. So that's kind of where the mushrooms put me at, a real special, and the ability to think and create is just, I can't express it to you. It's just my experience.
What do you exactly mean by self-healing? What part of you? What and in what capacity? In what way?
Okay, and it's a long story, but
it's up to you, of course. If you
no, of course, no, I speak about this all the time. I haven't checked recently, but I had Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid condition, and this is all documented. And I went to the endocrinologist, and they give me Synthroid, and they could never get it straight. They told me you got this, and look, I'm not going to knock science, but science never heals anything. They only keep it treated. That's my opinion, and I stick to it. But so they couldn't heal me, and I developed a lump in my thyroid, and next thing I was experiencing was a sonogram and then a biopsy, and then I was told in 6 months if I don't have this thing removed, they'll be taking it out. So I left, and I got to healing myself through finding out about William Reich, Nikola Tesla, and the Royal Wright, who tapped into the Akasha and understand the frequency and the healing through frequency. And so I was able to find orgonite, which William Reich had discovered, and they killed him because, well, just look him up. You'll see for yourself. He was quite brilliant. And, Tesla did the same thing, and he was ending up feeding pigeons at the end. So there's a thing called the Terminator 2. You can look it up. It's about $135, and I purchased that. And you put a 9-volt battery, and it throws a frequency. It also has organite, which contains a crystal, which, as we know, crystal was used to get the radio going, and so it has that property where it actually takes in negative and reproduces positive. Actually kills all of the negative free radicals. I would suggest anybody look it up. And
so you're talking about ions at this point, yeah? 33 negative ions, yeah.
What is
and
it
so
called?
I healed myself. So I healed myself, and I went back to the doctor and took all the tests. And then my doctor asked me, "Well, how the hell did you do that?" And I explained it to him, and he said, "Don't tell anybody. I'll lose my business."
Now, 33.
What is it called?
33.
It's called the Terminator 2. Sorry, Paul. Yeah, go ahead.
No. It's got right now. Previously, you were getting excited. You were talking, but your actual shh.
Yeah.
Your audio got out of whack, so it sounded very muffled. That's why
I
couldn't hear.
I was walking around. I do that a lot. I'm sorry.
So Estevel was asking you about the device name.
Okay, it's called the Terminator 2. It's by Dr. Huda Clark, and it's there's other ones too. There's better ones, and there's ones that you could actually use to zap your food. Okay, I mean, because look at what's going on anyway. There's just so much to it. I believe in frequency and magnetism. I believe that the body is electric and magnetic.
Well, everyone knows that it's electric because that's what energy is. Everything is energy. So it's just unfortunate you've got to educate everyone about energy.
I just get this crappy movie. I'm not the thing you're talking about.
Has it got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it? Once you're using that, is that the Terminator 2 you're ending up with, Estevel?
Yeah, just this movie, film. For you.
Right, now, oddly enough, we've been going for 5 hours 16, the longest one so far, people.
Well, there's 5 minutes and there's 5 minutes.
I know, yes. Oh, by the way, 4M, I don't know, you have to come off mute in a minute. Have you read my banner by any chance on Twitter?
Your own personal banner?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have 5 minutes?
Well, this is the problem, okay? This is what people kept on taking the mick out of me when I phoned them out and said, "Have you got 5 minutes?" We just rolled into conversations. So in the end, I evolved it to be my banner, and it is quite true because this was only meant to probably be about 3 hours, and because obviously everyone has got such good sharing, they got knowledge, and we're going to have to get to Ian because he's got stuff there. Yeah. Oh, by the way, are you finding it fascinating for him?
Me, I find quite fascinating in general. I think I've come through. I've dealt with and come through all sorts of different characters and people throughout my lifetime. I find it quite interesting what makes people tick and what works for them. So one form of therapy might work for one person, but not necessarily work for another person.
We don't advocate that all in here.
Absolutely. You can tell that. And from the way everybody's speaking.
What's your take on this?
Sorry?
What's your take on all this?
What, on the whole topic?
5 hours worth, poor girl.
No, not at all. I'm very open to people's opinions, people's thoughts, people's way of dealing with things. I think you can learn a lot off of people. I think it's good that you all have experienced, different things throughout your life, tried different things, and we're all very different as people. No one person's the same, so I find it quite interesting, like I say, because one tool might not work for one person, but it might work for another person. And I think, obviously for 33, he feels, I'm getting the vibe that more natural healing, whereas somebody else might deal with the more modern medicine way of healing.
When you've got placebos and nocebos turning up, that's when the brain also works as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, I think there's a lot that we don't know about ourselves, as in, what we're capable as human beings. I'm quite open to people's interpretations of things and opinions. I think it's important. Everybody has different experiences in life, and everybody's story is different. Never judge a book by its cover.
Good answer.
Long answer.
Right, yeah, but we'll get Ian in next, and then I'm going to wrap this up in 5 minutes after that.
Yeah.
You always do that.
Yeah, no, to be perfectly honest, you guys chatting, that has been absolutely amazing to listen to. I just want to say, I can't remember what it was that I wanted to say to start with, but Esteval 33 rule, like, you guys are like two separate halves of a whole. I swear to God. Like, if you put both of your minds together and look at that whole thing as a perspective, that's exactly the questions that you're asking.
Has he become yin and yang?
It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, that's what you want, right? You want to have someone that's like really deep into the esoteric stuff, that wants to find out more on the spiritual, and then you need someone like Esteval who's like, yeah, maybe, but like, just explain to me what the heck is going on right here. It's absolutely brilliant. Like, you guys both deserve a medal. Like, you've been saying the right things and asking the right questions. And yeah, I don't remember the questions I was going to ask, but I'm just really grateful that I managed to hit this button so that I could get in on this conversation, because I know I told you, Perceptions, that I was gonna be here all week listening to your things, but I keep missing them. But this has been absolutely brilliant. Thank you for this. That's all I'd say.
No problem. I'm glad that we can bring stuff out and it's interesting to people. So that's the good thing.
Oh, it is, dude. You're doing a really good thing. It's like, I don't think it matters at this point whether you're trying to like draw a crowd or not, but you are saying and drawing in like conversations that need to be had. And the people that come into your group are really sound people. So you're doing an amazing thing. Everyone here is lovely. You're all lovely. I just want you to know that. But yeah, man, this is what the world needs. Not like hating and bitching and just like having a dig at like the last pop artist that killed 8 people. Do you know what I mean? Like, he did it. But this is stuff that's important.
Thank you for saying that. I mean, we are evolving this to have obviously a podcast to go with it, and different people coming in.
Podcast, please.
So,
sorry,
I overtalked you. I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Could someone?
Sorry, mate. No, I was just saying, like, if you had a podcast, brother, this would be absolutely amazing. Like, I'm all into the podcast now. In fact, I think maybe it was podcasts that I had on my phone that gave me the suggestions that brought me here to you now. So
you might have got that from Paranormal Blip, Pete.
Oh yeah, Paranormal Blip. I follow that dude.
Gave me a shout out.
Mate, oh my good lord, that guy's podcast is fantastic.
He is amazing as well. We have some good conversations, and the good thing is, because we're becoming a community. I said before earlier that we're becoming a drop and we're becoming an ocean, that we can get information to different groups as well as supply people in the neuroscience, artists, lecturers, authors, all together and put them in front of people and actually have them come and talk live. And on the 15th of December, we're having Anthony Peake for 5 hours again, where previously he's never done 5 hours anywhere else apart from on this Twitter space with ourselves. So that's going to be amazing.
That's going to be more than 5 hours, though.
I know. He said the first time when we were doing 2 hours with him live. Now, unfortunately for him, doesn't actually know the author. He comes on. He's known me for about 5 years and sat there.
Oh, wow, no way.
And he goes, "Oh, 2 hours isn't enough. Can we do another 3 hours in the afternoon?" So I went, "Hang on a minute. Let's just check." "Oh, yeah, we can do that." So we did 5 hours in one day. And obviously when he does podcasts, it's something like an hour and a half to 2 hours with people. And then he goes to me, "I'd like to do this on a monthly basis with you. Are you okay with that?" And I went, let's see. Yeah, I think we can do that.
So. Oh my God, that's literally amazing. Like, I've bought pretty much all the Anthony Peake books that I can get, and I had it was kind of a bit of a misfortune really, because I bought something from his website that was out of stock, so he sent me like an email, but had a tiny little chat with the guy, and he's absolutely fantastic. Like I could listen to him for 10 hours, like a day, like a week, whatever you want.
Definitely.
Like,
He is
the
such.
guy's got everything going, and his new project, mate, that's something else. Do you know what I
It
mean?
is, yeah. With his, he was number in the 200 region of the Bigelow essays. Did you hear about that? Obviously, Jeffrey Mishlove got the top prize for that.
Right. No, I haven't heard about this.
So Bigelow put out money for essays, and Mishlove came in at the top at 500,000. I think it was as the figure. I think Paranormal Blipper. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Did he really?
He came in the 200s, in the kind of finalists of the 200s, but he's now going to release the PDF file of the essay that he wrote for that. And today, when he was talking to me, organizing this event coming up on the 15th, he said, I want my essay to get to reach as many people as possible, free, so that the information can be out there and we can spread it. So once he gives it to me, I'm going to start putting it through the social media platforms so that people can get the PDF. And
God,
as long as you
amazing.
pull feedback, it's something like 50,000 words. So a little bedtime reading for you. So if you want access to that.
Can I ask what did he write it on? What was his essay on? What's his background? Sorry.
Okay, so his background is as a researcher. He comes from doing psychometrics for people, but he's passionate about consciousness and trying to figure out where it all comes from, where memory's stored. He's seeing correlations between epilepsy, as in full-blown temporal lobe, Alzheimer's, dementia, and the way that brain scans have been revealing that, and this is very quickly, when a child is born, obviously it's in one state of cleanliness, and if you progressively take it all the way through to dementia, it becomes another state. But at the point when dementia starts to come in and Alzheimer's, the brain starts to revert back to the equivalent of the young child. And you could literally have this as the curve. They've also found with the conversations that these people who are in dementia states and everything else, some of them are saying, oh, they're coming in and they're changing things in my head so I'm ready for the next journey. And they're actually having information which they shouldn't have. So, for example, one woman was in, I think it was Liverpool, in a care home, and the daughter was down south, and she was talking about her Mini, which had a distinctive paint job on the top of the car. When she went up to see her mother in Liverpool with a friend, she started mentioning about the Mini and the location of where the Mini was, and she shouldn't have known where it was. So she was picking up information from other areas. And there's loads and loads of reports that Anthony Peake's brought together. And if you watch the half-hour one that I've given you, which is talking about a Russian monist who basically couldn't forget anything. So at an early age, even in his cot, he had no language, but images were coming to him about sound. So everything he saw was connected to every other image. So if he saw a chair that had been in 20 different restaurants or other places, all that information would flood him. He had no filter. He couldn't separate it. So he was overloaded entirely. And he went to go and see Luria, who was a psychiatrist in Russia, and said, look, I need to forget, because I can't forget anything. And they couldn't do that for him. So they're also talking about another guy who I've forgotten the name off the top of my head, was doing epilepsy because his younger sister died from it. He was taking electrodes, and obviously you take a small part of the cap of the brain off while the person was conscious, putting probes on and numbered the sections of the brain. And when he put obviously the probe into the brain, the woman suddenly goes, I'm back in my kitchen. I can hear the conversation outside of the people over the fence, say, for example. And then he took the probe away, distracted her and asked her other questions. And then without her knowing, because obviously the brain doesn't feel, put the probe back on the brain in that spot. And she goes, what have you done? I'm back in that place. I'm right at the point I left the conversation. So they're talking about memory isn't stored locally. It can be stored elsewhere within the field of the body, or you're literally just a receiver, your body is. And there's loads of other information which is really heavy dense, but I'm just glazing over it. But he's written over 10 books. He's written books with the scientific community. He's talked to Irvin Laszlo, who is a musical genius, and also his work on time and the Akashic record, things like that. Again, as you will hear, Ian will basically sing his praises. 33 Will, Greybeard Will, Paranormal Blip Will. I mean, he's got, when he was younger, probably before 9, he had a high fever, which kind of affected his brain in such a way that he can remember everything he reads. And he's got such recall on information. So when he's been looking at all these studies and working with epilepsy charities and seeing documents, he's been able to see patterns and put things together and make sense of just the strangeness of the world. And he'd back everything up with science. And all these books, they've got notes after notes of where he's got his stuff from. And if he speculates, he says he speculates, but otherwise he will go, that's fact. This is where it comes from. You debate me. And he's been up against skeptical societies. Now, if you're a skeptic in the proper sense, if you find out something new, you'll bring it into your knowledge or you'll just throw it away. But the ones that are hard-blown ones, which are hard skeptical fanatics, they won't go up and debate him because his information is solid. So.
Well, that's the thing.
Those are not skeptics.
If you've got the evidence to back your theory up, then you're kind of halfway there, and that's where a lot of research base comes from, is evidence and theories and getting the evidence to try and prove these theories. And if he's got the evidence there and done the studying, and it is hard going up against somebody like that.
That is true. Esteval, when they're saying skeptics, they're using it kind of as in the buzzword. They're not using it in the true sense of the word, because then
if you're truly a skeptic, you would also just admit and not have a problem with saying, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm in the dark here.
I think it's such a nobody knows, really. Nobody has got a complete answer of consciousness.
Oh no.
Nobody has proved it. We've all got theories on it, but it's a hard one. And I think there's nothing wrong with being skeptic, and there's nothing wrong with people having experiences as well, and having a healthy, happy balance of each.
As long as you don't get obsessive about it, that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what we get in here is we're quite happy to change our opinions. We're not looking. None of us are being a personality standing on a box going, look at me, it's all about me. We're here about the information, and that's the kind of basis of it all. And some people are literally, look at my shiny jacket, and it's just me, not the information. So that's where it falls down.
We can all have a shiny jacket, but it's what's underneath the jacket, really. And it's, I think, I don't know, sometimes people that have got the shiny jacket aren't always what they seem.
Yeah, isn't it like the Latin phrase "vincit omnet veritas"? The truth will set you free wherever it may lead you. I mean, it sounds a bit pretentious, maybe, because the more you know, how little you know. Actually, that you know
exactly.
Nothing.
Oh, by the way, ad hominem, I've been trying to send you links, but because I couldn't find your name when we were doing our fungi talk, I haven't been able to send you the links, and it wouldn't tell me where you were.
But I'm still drowning in goddamn Terminator 2 Schwarzenegger stuff. Could you please direct me to whatever the hell you were talking about with this device thing? Whatever.
33 will direct message you, right? 33, you just give him the information.
Okay. Since you mentioned me, my hand was up. I got tired. Your hand's been up the whole time, Paul. Are you tired yet? Just in case you didn't.
I want to go home.
Listen, I want to thank you. You guys are awesome. Look, first of all, I want to say I deserve criticism. Okay, and I expect it intellectually, and I expect pushback. Okay, because you know what? That's why I came. Anybody who speaks publicly should expect that, and I love it. And I think that I think that Esteval is quite brilliant in his own way, in his way he thinks about things, and you know what? I respect him, and you know what? I think that we can all learn a lot from each other. And I want to thank Paul so much for really putting the effort into bringing all these fine people together. And I love you all. Man. Thank you.
That's very kind of you. I mean, I just love the fact that this community is building up so well and the knowledge that's flowing. It's great. Hopefully, I can say hello to Ad hominem because I was trying to get hold of him at some stage. Greybeard, do you want to say something before we wrap up? I'll give 10 more minutes. It's been such a great night.
10 more minutes? You said that about 15 minutes ago.
I know.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just want to make a... Right?
I'm doing T-shirts. I'm doing that, yeah.
I just want to make a comment on what Em was saying. On the, no one has the evidence. And not that I'm going to sit here and preach that we have evidence, but I think that's exactly what Jeffrey Mishlov's paper was about. Is with the show of 100% or a fist, is everyone familiar with who Robert Bigelow is?
Yes.
So we're all familiar with Bass and NIDS and what he did at Skinwalker Ranch and the paranormal and everything, right? So his wife recently died, and he's looking, and I believe something happened. So he not obviously something happened to the wife, but I think something spiritual happened. So he's looking for explanation. So he wanted a paper, and I believe the guidelines said it had to have evidence of a afterlife and or like the 0 point field, the Akashic record, a universal consciousness of some sort. And the winner was only going to be chosen that could prove that. And so it's exciting to see what Mishlove writes. I have the PDF. I just haven't had time to read it yet. Like you said, it is lengthy, and it has a lot of video links and everything to it. But that paper, according to the guidelines to win it, was supposed to have irrefutable evidence of it all. So that might be worth, I just wanted to point that out. I don't think that was a theory. I believe the guidelines that Bigelow stated is that it had to have absolute evidence of an afterlife, and that was the only way to win the money. And Mishlove won the money with the winning paper. So I find that very interesting.
Did you also hear me tell you that Anthony Peake got into the 200 in that one?
Did he? No, I didn't hear that part.
And lo and behold, he's going to give us the PDF file that he wrote for that essay to distribute to everybody who wants it. And anybody can just distribute it again and again and again.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about Mishlove at that point. I didn't realize that Peake was also going to give out his PDF because Mishlove also released his PDF free as well.
Yeah. So he was just saying to me today, because obviously whatever disclosure bit has probably gone now because of the fact that they've been declared the winner, as in Mishlove, and going from there. Right, I'm just going to get the link and give it to Em so that she's got some light reading to do. And if you don't come back within a week of doing all these, Em, you know what's going to happen. We'll come around and knock on your door and go, "Why haven't you read all this yet? Why haven't you responded?"
Right. I don't need to be stalked anymore, thanks.
Oh no, we don't really stalk. We just sit in a corner and everyone comes to us.
Yeah, I'll have a read. It'll be interesting.
None of it has to be done, as I said, in a week. It's just worthwhile if you're interested in the areas of contemplation that we go into. Ad hominem, speak to me. Come on. I've given you the option.
Hey, how are you doing?
Finally. I've missed you.
I know,
because I tried to find you after our talk.
I don't know if you've had other spaces since the last time, and I just kind of stumbled on this one. And I'm glad I caught up with you again. I was going through the things in the nest, and I think I get the sense that you're about to end this whole thing, and I'm kind of disappointed, but that's okay. I can come in the next time.
What, after 5 hours, 39 minutes, you're disappointed? Where have you been?
I just found it. I don't know what. I guess I'm just I'm missing the heads up on.
Yeah, you're 4 talks late.
Oh, so annoying. I apologize.
You said you followed me, and I tried to follow you, and I couldn't find you. Because you don't really have your ID as ad hominem. You're something else. And now that I found you.
My at name, the MRICT.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You gave me grief. I tried to find you for days, and now I'm going to just have to
I really
give you information.
Your effort, and it's my fault. I apologize. But I follow you. I mean, I checked on you. Yeah, okay, now we're following each other, so I think it should be all right.
Yeah, I know, because I just clicked on following you.
Great.
Now I'm giving you the links that I wanted to give you, so that's what.
Perfect. Well, I'll definitely be on the next time you come around, and we can debate. I love it.
Hey, we're not debating; we're just talking nice and gently.
Okay,
I'm sure.
I'm good for gentle talking too.
Right, here's your first lot of stuff. Right, take
Thank
that.
you.
Right, yeah, good. No, it was really hard because I thought, oh, great, there's a good resource. Now, M and everybody else at Homonym has got a lot of information on ecology in his brain, so he's useful to us. And we had a very good conversation on fungi, so, and Paul Stamets. So that was good.
So what is it?
So
every week you do one, or what's your schedule?
My co-host throws me underneath the wheels and keeps on going, oh, we'll see you next week. And I'm going, oh, I haven't got a topic yet. So, yeah, we try and do it a week, which is good.
Great. That's great. No, I look forward to the next one for sure.
Now that I've got you, I can include you in that as long as you just hit the reminder button. It should be good. So, superb.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes. No problem. It's nice to have you in the fold.
Guys, I'm
33.
Sorry, I'm just going to quickly interrupt and say thank you very much. I'm going to have to go to bed, but thank you very much.
Exactly where I'm going. Yeah,
very informative. So thanks very much, guys.
Better than Love Island.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Quadruple M.
I know. I'll change the name. So there you go.
4M. We'll call you 4M for now.
What's that?
But identify yourself, because if you change your picture, I won't recognize.
What's that peacock? What's that bird? It's a peacock.
Should be a phoenix. Looks like.
I think it is a peacock. It's a blue peacock. It's a type of peacock.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I followed everybody who's on here, so take a look and follow me back so we stay connected.
Cool.
Absolutely, got you back.
Anyway, to Mrs. Peacock. It was lovely having you around. I mean, it's not my space, but anyway, I enjoyed your presence.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed yours too.
Estevel, yeah, it's your space. You basically take over and ramble. You can have it if you want.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh my God, you guys, that was so fucking cringe. Oh, sorry, that was so really cringe. Good Lord.
Hey, look, I'm going to say goodnight. Hey, Paul, I do have a subject matter. I'd love to talk about subconscious and magic and how we can actually train ourselves. And that goes into dreaming too. And I love that subject. So, and I would love to,
We can do that, but we've got to split it up into bits because, hey, if we went for Gabe's hour and he left for half an hour, then we just had to fill in the gap in between.
Absolutely. I just wanted to throw that out there.
You don't see me do that.
Yeah.
You don't see me leave halfway through one of my own
33. I'm still stuck in 1991 with your Terminator 2, whatever the hell the reference was to. Anyway, send me a DM if you want to.
Yeah, I will. I'll certainly do that.
Okay,
I'll certainly do that. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Right, see you 33. Tamara, hello. Can you talk?
I can.
You've been very quiet tonight.
I have. I've been unusually exhausted, and my mouth isn't really attached to my brain this week.
It's a good place. Well, one day it will get back together again. You'll be fine.
I hope so. I think it might have something to do with the disorientation with the time change and the lack of sunlight.
I wish they would just leave it because it screws with my cortisol levels. It's probably with everybody's cortisol levels in here because it's, just leave it as it was before they changed it past Saturday night. Just leave it.
I agree.
100%. I think there's I think that's like going through Congress here in America, trying to keep daylight savings time year round.
You muted yourself.
I know it's been, in the last decade they reduced the number of months or whatever, but they just needed to get rid of it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense anymore.
I have to say, Adelmanin, can you set up a new room to discuss that? Because I need to go to bed. That's not going to be doing me any good. That's a long, long topic.
No problem. Listen, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, definitely. That's good. Tomorrow, I hope everything gets a bit better. Estevel, a pleasure as always. Ian, nice to see you. Greybeard, how you doing? Paranormal Blip, good to see you. I can't see who that's at the bottom of my screen, split into 4. Do you pronounce that Tummy? I don't know how to pronounce that. Tamai.
622311515.
Maybe if I invite them, they can. Why's the finger's not working? Let's see. They can tell me their names, and I can say goodnight to them, depending on where they are in the world. Tumnay, you've had the invite. Hello, goodbye. Paranormal Blip, good night. I think it's all been a fantastic one on dreams, and I want to go and experience a few, which would be good.
All right. Ad hominem. Okay. So ad hominem wants to continue spacing around or something. I don't know what's going on.
I don't think so. I've never done that, so it would be probably a complete disaster.
Why?
Well, I'm just not. I don't know what the protocols are. I guess I can do it. I've never even tried, to be honest with you.
There are no protocol. There are no protocols. It's just you make it up as you go along. Here we stick,
I'll look into it.
Here we stick to Paul's protocols, which are very English, so to speak.
You use that sarcasm badly. I will be off.
Yeah, well, I'm Dutch, so.
How are your clogs anyway?
Yeah, pretty good. I've never worn any. Never. But I suppose they're good. Yeah.
My friend who's called Jan Case, he says they're quite amusing if you ever tried to wear them.
I don't know. Supposedly they're like wearing boots.
The proper ones have got 3 little pegs underneath so you can keep out the mud.
I don't know. They're made of wood. That's all I know.
No, instead of having a flat bottom like a boat, some have got actual little stilts that have got, one at the front, 2 at the back. No, 1 at the back, 2 at the front to take you out of the mud. That's how they used to be.
I don't know.
That's my Dutch history.
Most of them are painted yellow. They're made of wood. They're one-piece things. And
they're bananas.
Yeah.
Those yellow things are bananas.
But, I'm from Amsterdam. I'm not some peasant from some rural area where they...
Oh, got a class issue.
I'm one of those city slickers. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what it's like to live there in one of those tiny villages where they all, You're not going
to win any friends from the rural part of Holland,
are you? No, that's all. That's no problem. That's okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't care.
Shh, Esteval, I'm going to bed. Go and talk to somebody else.
I couldn't care less. No. Well, you brought up the clogs, so it's.
You just were banging on about us British being how we are.
No.
Right.
It's more particularly you. It's not,
Don't you make it sound even worse.
You're one of them.
I love the way that you give respect. It's just particularly you.
Well,
you can leave my space if you want and run away.
I'm not going anywhere. Not yet. Anyway, it was lovely talking to you all, and
always fun.
It was good banter. And all right. So I guess we're done.
Everybody, just remember that ad hominem, Esteval, Greybeard, Paranormal Blip, Ian DWH, Tim and I, 33, and 4M, you've made it to the longest one ever, 5 hours, 27 seconds, which will probably just go into the 5:51 minute. We've cracked the barrier.
Yeah. So how's life in Carlsbad? That's kind of a weird name for a...
Can we make it 555, just for repeating numbers, if you don't mind?
Oh, no. All right. Watching the top. All right. Which country were you talking to? Who were you talking to, Esteval?
Ad hominem? Is that your name?
Yes. Carlsbad, life is not too bad, other than the fact that it's California. But the weather's awesome. Taxes are high. Yeah.
Well, you can't have it all.
Can't have it all, no. But it's, it's a beautiful state, and I'm about 2 miles from the beach and maybe 30, 40 miles from the mountains.
It could be worse. Anyway, it was lovely. Perceptions, Paul. 33.
Thank you. I can't close the app now. It's going to probably go to 555 in a minute because I can't get the app to close.
Why? Yeah.
Because the phone is being peculiar.
Why not try and go to 666? That'll really get people talking.
There we go.
Yeah, what's
I
up?
lost like
That's
8 phone
333 twice.
batteries in this session, man. Not even lying. I had to reboot my phone loads of times to get it to work. I'm not even using the same phone now. I'm on a different phone.
So what did you in particular find cringe, Ian?
Oh, dude, yeah, you guys had a moment for a few minutes, like maybe 20 minutes ago, didn't you? It was getting really sort of, yeah, let's get out the oil and have a crash. It was a little bit, a little bit weird, but that's okay. We're all friends here, right?
Okay, yeah.
Hey, I sent you that DM, Esteban. You got the Terminator stuff now.
What? You sent me a DM? Let me check. Oh, wicked. Lovely. Did you actually... So where's the Terminator 2 device thing you're using? Overnight with
I sent you 2 links. I sent you one that'll take you to eBay, where it's $150. I guess inflation took it up $15, but maybe you could find it. I know I got one, like I had to get another one 6 months ago. It was $135 I found it for. But you could look up the names, and you could look into Dr. Huda Clark, and you could look up actual testimonials, okay? And I also sent you the names of Dr. Royal Wright, who also made a zapping machine, and also Tesla. If you look up, they all tapped into the Akasha. They obviously know about.
Anyway, if you can all still hear me, thanks a lot. Thanks, 33, for sending me the DMs. Yeah, Perceptions is...
To help our research and understanding, leave Perceptions Today's podcast reviews, subscribe to the podcast, along with the other social media accounts, and share. Come and join our live events. That way we can get together and have thoughtful discussions along with advancing our understanding of concepts as we go along.